Hello and welcome to episode 68 of Dorki's Entropia Universe report. We are slowly getting to the point where the episode number will represent a certain fairly popular activity that is often depicted in the documentaries on human mating practices. I have been resisting the urge to buy Crusader Kings 3 for the last few days, so naturally I went and bought it the moment I mentioned that magical number. There is this weirdly strong force pushing me into trying to found a dynasty of inbred hunchback dwarfs that will conquer all of Europe and force the whole population to stop wearing any clothes whatsoever. But this series is primarily about Entropia Universe, so I shall not divulge all my plans here. Instead, I will say hi to the best Albus Dumbledore ever. It was nice talking to you for a bit, and thank you for watching my videos and the tip on where to go next. I went there and the place was nice to me. I hope your taxi and or healing business will take off to a great success. And sorry to everyone who is thoroughly confused right now. I think this is a good place to scale back on the weird and sometimes demented ideas that I go over in these introductions. Well, the hello message to Dumbledore does not fit into that category of topics, but I wanted to make it a part of the introduction so that people can hear it before they tune out with that age-old question of what the fuck did I just listen to? Anyway, I wanted to add that if you happen to find me somewhere and say hello to me in the local chat, I will reply if I see the message. So if I do not reply to you, I was most likely just AFK crafting, cooking, reading some other chat window that does not show the local messages, or AFK taking a quick dump in the throne room. In that case, saying hello through a PM should do the trick. Unless the game decides to crash on me or disconnect me before I come back and open that PM. For some mysterious reason, MindArc designed their system in a way that unopened PMs disappear once you have left the game. Maybe it is something MindArc could change in the future. I know there is that in-game mail function, but when someone sends me a normal PM in the middle of the night while my avatar is there and crafting, and my internet gives out before I wake up in the morning, I would like the option to actually see that PM when I log back in, even if it was not sent as a mail. Anyway, enough about that, let's get into the Entropia Universe stuff proper. As has become usual of late, I will start this portion of today's episode by stating that I did not do much in Entropia Universe over the week. From Monday 7th to Monday 14th of September 2020, despite the fact that my avatar was in-game almost 24/7. For the most part, all I did was some cheap AFK crafting and a little bit of mining that did not yield any interesting finds. The background footage in today's episode is from a couple of weeks ago. It is my last as of yet unused mining footage with swirls, if I do not count a bunch of globals and some small hoofs from ages ago that I cut out from longer videos when I was clearing out some hard drive space. So next week's episode will either be without any nice swirlies, or I will have to get lucky with my mining or low-level hunting in the next 7 days. Do not hold your breath though. I will likely spend most of my free time mixing and matching myself and my offspring with the Europe's most degenerate nobles from the Middle Ages to create that perfect dynasty of living memes. And when I will play Entropia Universe actively, I will just do some cheap activities such as unamped mining and hunting small mobs, because my budget is now sitting at around 700 PED, since I dumped most of my PED into Crystal Palace shares over a week ago. I have been slowly rebuilding my PED card balance since then by doing mostly cheap activities that yield TT return good enough and with enough markup to lead to a long-term profit. That sort of gameplay is key when you are on a relatively low budget and do not want to or are unable to deposit much. I could have deposited those 50 euros I paid for Crusader Kings 3, but then I would have probably done something stupid and lost it all after a few hours of fun. I do not want to say that you should not deposit if you feel like it or are enjoying Entropia a lot and can stretch those funds over a longer time while having fun. But I know myself well enough to know that I will do better and feel better about my time in Entropia when I play smart and grow my fortune slowly in-game. And I am by no means rich or even well off, so I have to think more carefully what to do with that little bit of disposable income that I have. Anyway, sorry about going a bit off topic there. I wanted to say that managing your cash flow in Entropia Universe is important if you want to do well and enjoy the game for long periods of time instead of getting pissed off and rage quitting the game after a few days, weeks or months with a lot lighter bank account. I sometimes hear from people hunting mobs that cost several pets to kill on a budget of just few hundred ped. They usually end up going broke fast and sometimes just repeat that behavior over and over again and get upset over bad loot. While bad loot definitely can be a thing in Entropia, even if you are doing proper activities for your budget and skill level, going broke when you go hunt Embulimaxes or Aatroxes on a couple hundred ped budget is literally inevitable and will come sooner rather than later unless you only play for a few minutes a week or are very lucky. And I know this not just from how other people fare when they engage in this sort of hunting or mining, but also from my personal experience, as I have been there and done all those things over the years, and sometimes I still do this sort of stuff, mostly in mining when I just take 1 or 2 amps for some fun times out in the wilderness, at a time when I know I should not do so, due to having low budget or just my overall loot being on a downswing. I know and fully expect the result, but the urge to do it anyway is either too strong to resist or I just made my peace with losing a bit of money for some gambling fun or in exchange for getting gameplay footage for my videos. Either way, it is time to go over the payouts from Deeds and shares that I currently own. I am going to start with the shares this week and move on to the Arcadian Deeds. So let's start with the wet fart called Ancient Greece shares. They actually surprised me in a positive way this morning when they paid out 1 peg per share. I did not expect a payout from them for at least another couple weeks, since they usually take a long ass time between dividend payouts. I heard there was an all-time high from a Gorgon, but that should not really have much of an impact on revenue payouts from Ancient Greece shares, since the payouts are not based on a tax, but rather revenue from activity same like Calypso land deed dividends. I wonder if the earlier payout was due to all-time high attracting a lot more people to the place or what. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace shares did surprised me a little bit too. However, they did it in a slightly negative way. One peg payout from Crystal Palace shares just does not feel right after I got used to 2 peg or higher payouts. But of course, it is not that bad since they did pay out, and these lesser payouts do sometimes happen. As one character in the Predator 2 said to another character shortly before he and his buddies got slaughtered by the invisible monster, sometimes shit happens. I still expect Ancient Greece shares to skip payments most weeks and Crystal Palace shares to pay out regularly, and about those 2 peg per share on average for most weeks, so hopefully my expectations will be fulfilled. When it comes to the Arcadian deeds, I was rather surprised by how well both of them performed this week. Even Arcadia Moon deeds did relatively well with 3 payouts of 1 peg per deed, which is much better than their usual 1 or 2 payouts. They still have not sold out in the web shop though. So those of you willing to drop $300 on a 50 peg can still get that lovely cyborg suit. I personally would not, since they would have to pay out about as good as the underground deeds to actually be worth that asking price per deed. And with that we get to Arcadia Underground dividends for the week. AUDs paid out 5 times over the week and all but one of the payouts were for 2 peg per deed. That remaining 1 payout gave 4 peg per deed. So each Arcadia Underground deed returned dividends worth 12 peg. Considering this week's payouts, AUD was the clear winner for the best investment. It does not really mean that much since the situation is a bit different each week, and I do not own any CLDs. But overall, Arcadia Underground deeds are a decent way to store up PED and get a bit of extra cash out of it over longer periods of time. I still have the same opinion of Crystal Palace shares as well. To conclude, there were some surprises when it comes to deed and share payouts this week. However, nothing huge happened. Crystal Palace shares and Arcadia Underground deeds are still at the top of the deed and share food chain, possibly with CLDs, but I cannot confirm that one since I do not own any. I just keep on yapping about my plans to buy one someday in the future every few episodes. I think this one has already turned into a running joke for me since I have been planning to buy a CLD ever since I started my Entropia Universe report series. We are up to episode 68 now and I still do not own any CLDs. Maybe by this time next year I will finally own one. Anyway, how was your loot in Entropia Universe lately? Have you played Crusader Kings 3? Is the sky blue? Let me know in the comments below and thank you for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It does help a lot to keep me motivated to continue making videos. Thank you.